Senator Sherrod Brown hammered Trump on the issue of trade. So he spoke here about trade, outsourcing, and the new NAFTA, which Trump is trying to put into place now. So take a look, and then we'll discuss.
The U.S., Mexico, and Canada signed a replacement deal for NAFTA called the USMCA in Argentina on Friday. The plan still needs to pass the Senate. Now, I understand you want some tweaks, but President Trump says he's ending NAFTA. It's this deal or nothing. If this agreement, as it's currently written, came to the floor of the Senate, would you support it?
No, the president's threats to pull out of NAFTA don't take away from the importance of getting this job done. I mean, I voted against one of the first votes I ever cast in Congress was against NAFTA, and I've seen the devastation it's brought to the industrial Midwest. I've seen what it's done to workers, and you start off here by respecting the dignity of work and understanding the most important thing is to stop the outsourcing of jobs to Mexico. GM just announced this summer another plan in Mexico. So we've got to do this right. The president's threats are not particularly helpful, not surprisingly, but we need stronger labor enforcement standards. These rules so far, the USMCA, don't get us where we need to get to stop the outsourcing of jobs, to respect the dignity of work, to protect American workers, whether it's the Lordstown plant in Ohio or the Hamtramck GM plant or other companies that find it's profitable for them to outsource jobs. I mean, in the president's new tax law, there are provisions to encourage the outsourcing of jobs by giving companies that move overseas, shutting down in Ohio, moving overseas, they get a 50% off coupon on their taxes. Well, that just makes no sense.
I want to get to that in a second, but sure. just to bear down on this, the president's made it clear that it's not going to change. It's been signed by Mexico. It's been signed by Canada. I just want to get you firmly here. You're going to vote no on the USMCA.
No, I don't. The work's not done yet. I understand the president said it's final. The president needs to talk to Congress on this, and we can go back to the table with the Mexicans and the Canadians and do stronger labor standards. Mexico hasn't even passed its promised strengthening of labor standards and labor law that it said it would do during these negotiations. There is now a new Mexican president who is more pro-worker than the outgoing president that signed USMCA. I'm hopeful with the House of Representatives where it is, with the labor movement, with workers all over the country telling me they want stronger labor enforcement standards. You don't just sign this away, because this doesn't live up to the promise the president said that it would be a renegotiated NAFTA helping workers and stopping outsourcing, because it doesn't do that yet. I'm hopeful that it will, and I've been talking to the U.S. Trade Rep for months and months and months on strengthening the labor enforcement. We will still get there.
Yeah, a dude who, in his first year in office, 93,000 jobs were outsourced. That's what happened under Trump's first year. A dude who outsources his own jobs, as he did. A dude who has, in his own tax bill, added provisions that incentivize outsourcing. That's what's in the Republican tax bill. This guy is not going to actually propose a new trade deal that's going to somehow be wonderful now and be better for the American worker. If he cared about the American worker, there wouldn't have been 93,000 jobs outsourced under his first year. You wouldn't have had an increase in even federal jobs being outsourced, which happened. You wouldn't have had those provisions in the tax bill that incentivized outsourcing. And by the way, we're seeing the fruits of that now because GM just shut down up to 5 factories, and almost 15,000 jobs now are going to be outsourced. So, and the Blazer is going to be made in Mexico. So no, this guy, his record on outsourcing is terrible. So when he talks about being pro-worker, it's just not true. You know, I told you guys before, he could have signed an executive order that made it so that the federal government has to buy only American-made goods. But he didn't do it. See, right now, we have a Buy America provision for the federal government, but Buy America somehow includes all of our allies. So if you buy from Israel, that counts as buying from America. It's ridiculous. You could sign an executive order, any president can, that says, no, when we say Buy America, we literally mean Buy American. But we didn't do that. That would be wonderful for workers. He didn't sign that. Instead, he did a bullshit symbolic Buy America week, which is just ridiculous because there's no there. It's just pretending to give a shit about workers. Now, Bernie also weighed in on this. He said, a renegotiated NAFTA must stop the outsourcing of U.S. jobs, end the race to the bottom, protect the environment, and lower the outrageously high price of prescription drugs. Trump's NAFTA 2.0 does not meet these standards, and I will strongly oppose it in its current form. He's right. Now, Trump is threatening to do something hilarious. He's threatening to just axe NAFTA on his own, and then give NAFTA 2.0 to Congress and say, listen, it's this or nothing. So you either pass NAFTA 2.0 or you get nothing because I just terminated the old NAFTA. How hilarious would it be if Trump did that and then Congress was like, yeah, we're just not going to do anything. And so you just axed NAFTA, and now we didn't pass NAFTA 2.0, and so now NAFTA's gone. Now, they're not going to do that because it's Congress, but it would be so badass if they did that. If they stared Trump down and they were like, go ahead, axe NAFTA. And then he does, and then they're like, okay, we're done here. That would be awesome. Okay, so just so everybody knows, NAFTA 2.0, meet the new NAFTA, same as the old NAFTA. Very similar to the old NAFTA. So in the new NAFTA, there's a giant giveaway to Big Pharma. There's a giant giveaway to Big Oil. There are provisions from the TPP that were slipped into this new NAFTA about corporations being able to sue regulators, which is crazy. So it's almost putting, corporations above governments in some respects, which is just undermining enlightened civilization. So that's nuts. There's a handful of good provisions, but most of them are overwhelmingly negative. So this new NAFTA is very similar to the old NAFTA. It's unacceptable, and of course, everybody should oppose it.